Okay, we're live. Hi, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming here. I've seen a question in there. I just wanted to let you know we're going to talk about, we're not doing personal questions today or political. We are talking about, right now, we're going to talk about this solar eclipse and lunar eclipse and all this planetary stuff that has us all feeling funky right now. And this is Valerie. I'm Deann. If you all are different, if somebody comes on here and don't know who I am, I'm Deann. And this is my friend Valerie from Illumination Portal. And she is really great. She's a really good astrologer. She explains things so well, you know, where you understand it. I love astrologers like that because it can go over our heads. Those of us who don't have any knowledge, when they're talking about nodes, I'm like, what's a node? You know, I feel like a dummy. But she's so good about explaining things. And if we have questions, she's so good about answering them. And so I just want to say hi to some. Thank you, by the way, Val, for coming on here. I'm so happy you came back on. I love having you on.
I love being here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I just wanted to say hi to Bora. Thank you so much for coming. You are so wonderful. I got it. I got your email. I want you to send me your address. I got some, if you got my email, you know, I got something I want to send you. So I appreciate you for being here and supporting our channel and for, you know, moderating for me, because boy, do I need moderators. I have the hardest time keeping track of everything in the chat. So forgive me if you come in and I don't say hi. It's not that I appreciate you. I just have a hard time sometimes keeping my attention in different places at once. So,
me too.
Thank you, Ness, for coming, and Kay Muldoon. Hey, Kay, thank you for being here. And look at you typing in the chat. I'm terrible. I have to do it through my phone. Sonia, hi, and we got All Painter here. Karen Robinson, my friend. Hey, Karen. And Mickey, hey Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. I've heard that a million times, but I can't help myself. But I love you. Thank you for coming. So, sorry to say, you guys, please don't leave because I attempted to sing. So, anyway, so if I don't know about you guys, but and you, Val, but I've been feeling really. We were talking backstage how I've been feeling like a limp noodle. I've had no energy. I've just been feeling like just, you know, blah. And Tanya, my friend Tanya, said the same thing, and I think PD the same thing. And so, what's going on?
What's going on? Well, my goodness, we have started eclipse season. Now, here's how you know where the nodes come in. The nodes run eclipse season. So when the north node is, the north node is in Aries. So that's a solar eclipse that we're having on the 8th. The south node is Libra. Okay, they're across from each other on the astrology wheel. So wherever those nodes are, and they change, they constantly move, constantly. But right now it's in Aries and Libra until I believe, I think September. But don't anyway. Not gonna go there. So when we have eclipse season, right on March 25th, we had the lunar eclipse in Libra. That meant it was a full moon. Okay, so the sun and the moon were together, and that solar eclipse in Libra is releasing, right? It's a lunar eclipse. South node is what's going away. South node is what's no longer working. So you think of it like that. North node is where we're headed. North node is the space we haven't been to yet. So we're creating that, but we create that as we release what no longer serves us individually, as a collective, as humanity. It's on all different levels, anything you can think of. So when you're feeling bad, and believe me, I'm right there with you. I feel awful like a lot of the time these days because we're in between the eclipses. So we've had the lunar one, the solar one's coming up on the 8th. And there's a lot to go with that. And I'm just going to kind of touch on it because I don't want to get real deep on it, but this is helping humanity heal. I'm going to say heal because as the as that new moon in Aries shows up, it's sitting with Chiron, the wounded healer, the North Node, and this is what's getting the clearing, the healing of the collective. Right? There's a lot. Look around. The world's kind of a mess, right? It's
Mhm.
and we go through these things astrologically. You can see it playing out. We've had a lot of aspects come in. For instance, Pluto went into Aquarius in the first time in 248 years. Okay, so not only that, he met each personal planet. Like Mercury, Venus, and Mars are the personal planets at 0 degrees, 0 degrees Aquarius. This hasn't happened in 200 and some years. And with Mercury, the last time that happened was 61 AD.
Really?
Yeah, so we're in all new territory. I mean, we always are, but this is epic. This is huge. Honestly, I'm so excited about it because that's why I want to talk about the eclipses. I want to talk about all the astrology. As they're going to try to make it, oh, be afraid, be afraid. There's a devil comet. Well, I was guided to call the comet the dragon comet because the dragons are coming in to help bring in wisdom on the North Node. Okay, this again, we have an eclipse that lasts for 4 minutes. I think the total amount of time for the eclipse to pass over is about 2.5 hours, but it's only uh, full, right? 4 minutes in certain places. As that's going on, this comet is supposed to go through at that very time in that 4 minutes. Like, I don't even know what to say about something like that. It's so cool. But I feel it's spirit. I feel it's spirit coming in, bringing us some assistance for clearing out a lot of the debris that we have been living through. I mean, and it's just not the last 10 years or since 2016. It's gone on for thousands of years. And that's another thing. We're at the end of a Piscean age. So the Piscean age is closing down as the Aquarian age is opening up, but there's no way to really predict a time for that. So, but that's a closing of an age, but we're also closing the 26,000 year cycle. Aquarius is coming in. The age of Aquarius is a golden age. This is all life changing, transforming history. But I know a lot of awful things are going on in the world, and I don't want to sit here and act like that's not happening. But here, this is a spiritually based channel or a higher consciousness based channel, and my channel is, and I'm guided by spirit. I know you are.
Mhm.
And it is about to say to everybody that's here, light workers, love workers, energy workers, to remain in your heart. Be the love you are. Yeah, we get frustrated. Yeah, we get angry, but let yourself sleep, let yourself eat, let yourself do what you need to do, nurture yourself through those moments. This is probably the hardest month, and I'm with Oil Painter a lot, Diana. We are on my channel for the new moon and full moon. So we've been talking about this last couple years, how these are epic times, meaning this is like culmination of removing deep-seated, it's a form of enslavement that we've lived under for 26,000 years in the patriarchy, in the way the systems are set up. They're life negating, they're not life affirming. Well, that's what all this time period's coming in for, is to flip that into humanity's favor, right? Being heart centered, being soul centered. Because once we raise up in vibration, all that isn't at that vibration cannot raise with us. You know, it's just it's a frequency match, or it's not. And this is what everything is frequency. Astrology is all frequency. Each planet has their own personality and their attributes and things like that. So Aries, this eclipse in Aries is about the individual. I am. Well, who are we? Who am I? We're just coming into spring, right? And we're feeling like, oh, we're going to get some things done. Let's go forward. And everybody's itching to go forward from COVID, but it's just not time yet. We don't have all the information, and we don't have. And when I say that, right, it's we're clearing out a lot of blocks, a lot of just just distortion, all over distortion, individually and collectively. But as we clear out these blocks, we get to have more room to bring in who it is that we truly want to be. What kind of life do you really want to live? Is it this where we're fighting all the time? You know, we're divided on purpose. We're told to hate one group, and I mean, you know what's going on out there.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed the unions, they're getting more coming back, and people are starting to
Yeah.
realize that they've been being ripped off all this time by the super wealthy, and they're not even hiding it anymore from us, so I don't know, is that have something to do? People are starting to become more aware of how they've been treated,
Yeah,
and
because look at it.
for all these years.
Exactly. It's blatant in our face now. It's just a grab for power. In fact, these I just read an article, these last 4 years was the biggest transfer of wealth to the wealthy. It's they just like it was a ridiculous amount, like $31 trillion or something. And we're sitting here and we're noticing it, but we haven't got together and just said no more. And it isn't about being violent, it's peaceful, just no more. But they're going to push it to a certain extent. I think you and I were talking about that backstage. There's
Well, like
something
the Social
coming.
Security, they're pushing that, saying, like on both sides, they both need Social Security, and they're acting like, well, we're not only going to raise it to 70, but somebody's saying we don't deserve to get it at all. They just want to keep that money, so they're making it really known that we don't care what you think, we don't care.
Yeah. We take your money your whole time you're working your adult life, and we're going to keep it. I don't think that's going to go over well. People have got to come to the end of the rope, which is unfortunate. We're so beat up, and um, I don't watch the news. I can't. It just tears me up. I get really angry. What's the point? The whole point is for you to get angry because
Yes.
they use that energy against us.
You
We
want to be
are
angry a little bit because you got to fight because you don't want to
absolutely
just let it keep going. You can't be complacent. They're counting on us being complacent, and like we
right.
always have, and them just do what they want. So, but
And how did we get complacent? Like, how did it get so bad? I mean, we could go back in history, but I'll just point out one thing. Pluto in Capricorn the last 20 years. Capricorn represents like the top 3%. So this is why it was a big deal when he moved into Aquarius. Pluto's about truth and authenticity and integrity, being ethical. Well, Capricorn wasn't doing that. Aquarius is about all those things, and it's about the collective, freedom for all, humanitarian. Everybody has a seat at the table. So those two together are going to really help us uh, change that whole narrative. It's not going to be the same old, same old. The thing is, right now, Pluto is in Aquarius and will be there until September 1st. And then he goes retrograde back into Capricorn 29 degrees just for until November 18th. Well, what time period is that? During the election. So it's not gonna play out. It's not gonna be simple. It's not gonna be one and done, but trust me, by January 2025, when they're doing the inauguration, it's
Mhm.
for humanity. It's heart centered. It's soul centered. It's for life affirming. It is not about this grab for power anymore. And that's the astrology saying that. That's the astrology. A lot of things are going to change in January.
I feel
Different
that
planets.
too.
I don't want to get into it because it gets too much, but that Pluto going back into Aquarius is huge. And but we play out this year, right? We have to play out this year. Well, we don't have all the information. Even though we want to go, we don't know where to go. We don't know how to go. Everything seems like it's not. I mean, you even said to me, you don't feel like you don't know what's going on. You just don't have this feeling of, I don't even feel well enough to go forward, really. And I think that's part of it. Is it's about going inside. Continue to go inside. After this eclipse, and I'd say that's on the 8th, and then we have a full moon on the 23rd. It's a Scorpio full moon.
Does that
That's
make
when,
anything? Does that, like, I'm a Scorpio. Does that have any more of effect on Scorpios?
well, yeah, it does. It affects Scorpios directly, but it's about release. Again, full moons are about releasing. Scorpio is the best planet if you want to release. I mean, we've gone through a lot of eclipses and things, but he's kind of like at the end of this eclipse season, helping remove what no longer serves, but it's also digging out the truth. It's also getting to see what is it that's holding back progress for humanity, or what is it that's holding back progress for my individual self. It's all connected. It might not be a huge big thing individually, or it could be, but it's humanity that I usually focus on.
Okay.
When I do charts. I do charts for your specific birth chart, but I need your chart. I need time with you and all that to clear. I think I did your chart. It takes a while, and it's pretty informative. Um, but when I'm doing this astrology, it's about the collective. It's about how do we go forward? How do we navigate through these
As a
energies,
whole.
right? Yeah, and so we started out April 1st, Mercury going retrograde. Now we're on the 3rd, right?
How long does it
Tomorrow,
last?
the
Mercury
the
retrograde.
retrograde goes until the 25th, but this is good. Retrogrades are actually good. I know people are going to say, "What?" You go back and you discover something that you didn't have, some piece of information you didn't have, something that would help you make the right decisions to go forward. So that's how I look, and it's in Aries, right? So of course, again, there can be some, you know, it's shocking blow ups. You can, people get a little fiery, spark. It's a fire sign. You get a little spicy, right? But even with that, and that's people not operating out of their heart, which many of them aren't, but that's okay. They're helping. It helps them clear out the misinformation or the disinformation. So it's there. It's going to happen, but just be aware of it. Just okay. It's Mercury retrograde. Let me take my time. Let me go inside and make sure before I speak, I'm speaking the truth and I'm speaking kindly. You know, it, Aries can be real abrupt. So,
I'm a
but
Scorpio. I don't think we all the time think before we speak. We just comes out.
I think a lot of people are like that, and that's okay, right? That's how we learn.
Nikki
Um,
asked, I just wanted to ask you real quick since I had this, so I'll take this down. She said when she was recording her numerology and tarot energy reading last night, she's posting it later today. She said reflection and illumination came up a lot, inner reflection. Does that
yeah,
fit with the astrology for now?
absolutely. In fact, thank you for helping me there because that's exactly what's going on with Mercury retrograde and with all of this going on. All of April is about inner reflection. the last 4, 5, 6 years about inner reflection. Is about really who are you and how do you want to live in this world. You have options, you have choices, and the more heart-centered we become, right, we choose differently. We choose hopefully higher choices. But there's this month, okay, this is kind of like the month that has been uh, building up, and it's going to really open up. We have that eclipse on the 8th. We have that comet going through the eclipse during the 4 minutes of its um, exactness. We have on the same day, NASA's shooting off 3 rockets right outside of right here out of the Atlantic where I live.
And I heard they were having military or people out there too.
Yep, and that's so they're testing something. CERN, which is a particle accelerator in Switzerland, they're going to turn that on and see. So they're what happens is it blocks out the sun, right? So you think about that sun is blocked out for that 4 minute period. After that 4 minute period, it's like super fast, right? You get all this energy flown back onto the planet. That's just, to me, the sun has been really a big player. Well, it's always been a big player, but we're in a solar maximum too. So we're having solar flares. We're having Schumann resonance off the charts. The heartbeat of the earth is the Schumann resonance. The solar flares, the CMEs coming in, or the sun. So all of that together with the astrology is just really making a lot of space for something new to come in. So you got to think of it. After that 4 minutes, when that sun turns back on, something new is coming in. Something new is coming. I want to say that we haven't seen before. And then with the comet and the rockets and CERN, and this is more of an individual thing too. What is it you're releasing? Eclipse means to release. So what is it? What is no longer serving you? And you can help that by focusing on it and saying, thanking it, sending it love, and sending it on its way. It's a lot.
Well, do we have to worry about this on Mercury retrograde? They say, and this is how little I know. So I'm going to ask you probably dumb questions. And do people like old people come back into our life? Like maybe people we don't really want to, like things that weren't finished.
Well, yeah, people will come up, right? They will come back in, and it's like a review. Think of everything with Mercury retrograde or any planet retrograde, any RE word, review, remember, receive, whatever. How do you, it comes back like most lessons do. So say this person comes back that I know we're no longer in a relationship anymore, but they come back and I go in and I really see why we're not in a relationship anymore. Doesn't mean anything bad. I don't have to be mad at that person or rude or unkind. It just is showing me that it's just not the way for me to go forward. I saw somebody say something about I'm sorry, a new moon.
Oh, you got something else down here you wanted me to?
Oh, I'm sorry. What about signing a
People
contract?
wanted to know
Well,
what about signing a contract during Mercury retrograde because she's looking for a house.
right. Now, did you already pick the house? Do you already have everything lined up to go? Or are you buying the house? If you're buying the house, just signing the contract in any retrograde, I would definitely really scrutinize all contracts. Doesn't mean don't sign them. It just be extra cautious, extra alert, extra I don't know where this other question went to.
Read it over really good, maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to really scrutinize any contracts during any retrograde. And it's just line by line. You know how a lot of times we'll sign that stack of papers to buy a house and not really have anybody there with us.
Yeah, like
That's
when I got the timeshare, talked into
yeah,
that, and they had me, they talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and then they get you to sign stuff that they don't give you a chance to read. They won't, yeah, that kind of thing where you should
yeah.
just really, yeah, learn my
Get your
lesson.
lawyer. Yeah, get your lawyer. Make sure somebody's explaining it to you before you sign anything. Make sure the house is inspected. Make sure, make sure your ducks are in a row is what I would say. But I would say that anyway, with even without a retrograde. It's just be extra cautious in a Mercury retrograde for sure. Um, what
When
is
does the
age?
age of Aquarius uh,
Well,
begin?
each age is 2160 years. Okay, so we're right there. But when you transition into an age, like if I go back and look for, excuse me, when did the age of Pisces start? Gives you about 100-year window because it's starting, but the energy hasn't like built up into it. Meaning, uh, especially in this one, because this is a golden age, this is bringing us out of a dark age. What my guides say is that it's got to be a higher enough percentage to flip the frequency higher into the unconditional love truth vibration. Let's just say truth, right? You see how far away we are from truth.
We feel pretty far from that.
But there's a lot of us that are there, that are waking up, and that are going to soon, I believe in the next couple of months, stand up for truth and demand truth, is what I think. So
I
the
feel
faster that happens, the faster we move into that age. A lot of astrologers, some say 200 years, some say 100, some say 50, some say we're in there. I kind of say we started it in 2012, but we're just like barely in opening, cracking in crack in the door. It's
so we
just
have
kind of
how many more years till that happens? Age of Aquarius was when everything's more equal and people are getting along better and all that.
yeah.
Is that what that means?
Well, yeah, but we should see that happening end of 2025, beginning of 2026.
Okay,
We just got a little bit hanging there a little bit longer. By 2025, January, things should be, I mean, I see it as things are moving in humanity's direction, right? We're really making changes for our nation, for our people, for the best of our nation and its people. Um, but it's not going to happen in an instant, it's going to take time. And I know that there's already probably a lot of these laws already in place. They just haven't been passed because of who's in the House right now. So once it is, and I'm going to say this, I don't even want to say blue or red or anything. I'm saying heart centered, truthful, truth. The higher consciousness is truth. And those are the people that are going to get elected in. It's
good.
not it's not so much red, blue, that's designed to disconnect, to divide us on purpose, right?
Yeah.
So we got to stay out of that.
Yeah, because if Trump and the people that were doing these things were Democrats, I'd vote against them still. It,
Absolutely.
it's for the best person, the kindest person, the one who has our needs, you know.
There.
That says the beginning of COVID, the top 10 richest men in the world have gotten richer by 5 times. It just came out on Forbes magazine. So is this kind of stuff people are noticing with this new?
Mm-hmm. And I do think that's something that's going to trigger people to stand up for truth, stand up for what's right. Um, that is going to change, but that's a few years out where we implement, the predatory loans. Say those are going to be removed. Things that are just ripping people off. I mean, look, when you get a student loan for $20,000, by the time you pay it off, it's like 80,000, 100,000. Like, how do they get away with that?
Yeah, and
All
you
that.
keep having to defer it because you can't pay it, and then they just add more and more interest. I have a cousin who is 72 years old. He's still paying his student loans. He will never pay those off. unless he wins the lotto or some miracle, and that's not right. People shouldn't, to be a teacher, to be a social worker, you should not have to pay to the day you die.
No. And the thing is, right, Biden tried to wipe out all these loans, about 3 years ago now? When he first got in, I can't remember the actual date. Republicans stopped it. They stopped it. They fought it. And so he's had to go other routes to release people of those loans. And they're predatory, It's just, what's Sonia say?
She said, yes, notice there's a lot of people being angry right now. There's a lot of angry people, and those are the ones she said she's staying away from. Said the landlords are raising prices and not maintaining the places, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I think that's the kind of stuff people are getting tired of,
We're getting over it. I mean, you can push people, but so far. And look at the homeless population. This is ridiculous. We supposedly live in the wealthiest nation in the world. We have just all this stuff.
And we in other countries that are poor, they can afford to give health care to their people, and they can afford to give education to their people. And so why can't we? It's because we have such greed from the uppity up,
And because we could. Yeah, we definitely could. We could do all that.
We could. We have enough money. It's so funny when you ask somebody who's wealthy to pay their fair share, they're up in arms. But you'll take from a poor little old widow on Social Security, and I think we're getting tired of it. And I hope this is a change. Does her being a Libra have anything to do with right now, or saying buying a house?
Well, you have the South Node is in Libra, but I don't. I would have to really look at your chart to understand and where the house is and what the house is, and
supposed to be 5 rockets.
5 rockets, yep. And it's like, why? Right out here on the East Coast, I don't understand it. Yes. Oh, thank you, Leah, for bringing this up. Our nervous systems are really taking a hit, and this is why it's so important to go in. Do everything you can to self-soothe, to self-care is so important right now. And you're going to feel better. I would say we're all going to feel a little bit better and have a little bit more direction around May 1st. May and June are going to be really good months. But you're releasing a lot. We're all releasing a lot right now. And as this solar eclipse comes in, we're still releasing from the lunar, but something new, that's solar, that new sun is blasting on us, after being blocked out for 4 minutes. Think of it like that when it shines again, there's a whole new, that's packets of information. The sun rays, the sunshine. That's how we receive a lot of our downloads and a lot of our wisdom. Our knowledge comes through the sun.
Our knowledge comes through the sun. So during the eclipse, is there anything that we should not be doing or should be doing, like that for the collective of us? Trying to remind, you may have said it, but just by memory.
Well, don't do anything your heart doesn't love and value. And I say that with everything. Because if you're trying to do something because, oh my God, I have to work here because this is what pays my bills, but you hate it, it's going to be eclipsed eventually. It's going to make you so miserable. You could eclipse yourself. I mean, think of it. There's like a lot of things we do against our own nature because we were taught that you had to get along to, play the game, do everything you're supposed to do, and if you're miserable, so what? That's not the way forward.
That's why they call it a job, they say. You're not supposed to be having fun. You're not supposed to be enjoying yourself. Just, we were taught you're sick, you hate it, you just keep on going for the money. And money isn't everything.
No. And who made those rules, right? Those CEOs of all those corporations that just made 5 times what they were making before COVID. So we got to look at who's making these rules, who's saying, okay, in fact, this was a big thing. Oh, they needed all the workers to be at home when we were on lockdown, but as soon as they wanted them all back into the office. Well, why? Because they didn't want to pay. They're paying on empty buildings, rent on empty office buildings. They need you there. They, even though they write it off, I don't understand. But see, they had to establish dominance, right, over the worker.
Yes.
And there's and it's it. I think it's getting a little better, but I mean, even the minimum wage is going up, but so are prices. So it's really not even benefiting people. They can barely afford what it is now. Rent's like 3 times what it was when before COVID, or 2 times what it was, and we're just getting pushed and pushed and pushed, and that's gonna snap like a rubber band, you know.
Yeah, people are they can't afford groceries. They can't afford, I mean, especially these poor little old ladies that couldn't before when the prices were lower, are really struggling now. So I hope that things change like that,
Fight with light. It's okay. A lot of we don't feel good all the time. I don't care what day it is, what's going on. It's not like we're always in this joyous moment, right, inside of us. You can come to a place of contentment. It is the way we look at things. It's the way we view things. It's where do we put our focus? Are we putting our focus on what we love and value, or are we sitting here going, oh my God, the eclipse is coming and I'm scared to death? That fear mongering that they're doing to people is on purpose. This eclipse is really going to help accelerate humanity. That's how I see it coming in. And if it's, well, I'm not even going to say if it doesn't, because I know it's really, that's what's going to happen. It's going to, the astrology, everything's pointing to humanity raising, humanity getting a fair level playing field. So now, like I said, that's not going to happen all at one time, but please don't live in fear. It doesn't matter where eclipses go over. I wasn't feeling good the last few days, and I'm a pretty content person. It's just releasing things that maybe I'm not sure what, and I'm uh, pretty versed in that dark night of the soul stuff and releasing. So it's just part of it. It's just part of it. There's a lot of distortion here that we've all lived under for 26,000 years in various lives. We've had various lives where we were on under the control of the patriarchy. So you got to think of what that means, especially for women. Women were disempowered a long time ago. And even though we have divine masculine and divine feminine inside of us, right? 2 days before this eclipse, Venus is going into Aries. She's going to leave Pisces, go into Aries. She's going into the eclipse. So she's the divine feminine. She's what we love and value. And she's going first over there with him. So you got to think of that. What is that's a stand for the feminine. The divine feminine is going to change so much this year because we have a fight. Someone brought a fight to us. Right? We can't just sit here and ignore it anymore. We've been stripped of our rights, right? And it's either we stand up and speak up for that, and everybody has this divine feminine in them, males, females, all of us do, So it's to fight for, and I don't mean fight physically or brutally. I mean to stand up for your rights is really going to be an important point this year. It's going to be really important for us to do.
Just saying, I just learned some people and their charts are going to feel worse if they're in the path of the eclipse, depending on which planet.
So it's not. I'm not saying it's going to be all bed of roses, but I could look at anybody's chart right now and I could show you something to be afraid of, or I could show you something that you can work through and come out the other side in a whole higher vibration. It just doesn't matter how you look at it.
Is it going to be, is this time that we're having the retrograde and stuff like that? So this time is a time where we're having to re-look at everything, and you're saying, and then after this is over in May, you said things kind of start looking more up.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does look up. And that doesn't mean that the standing up for our rights is over. I think that's going to play out at least the rest of this year, and it's probably going to continue on, because regarding our rights, we all, a lot of us, I mean, just not the women's right to choose. A lot of things have been slowly being taken away. And we're realizing that, and that's got to change. Those laws, these things got to come in, because what America does usually goes out throughout the rest of the world. We're in the spotlight, right? Because we had the eclipse in 2017, we had the eclipse in 2023, and this eclipse goes through both of those. And there's a path, right? And I would love to be on the path. I would love to sit there and just really feel and meditate into the energy. I think it would be really cool. And I do know a couple of people going there, and we're going to talk about how they felt. Diana and I will have a show that night on the 8th, and we're going to talk to somebody who's there and how they felt during it. What did they see? What did they experience? I really don't want anyone to fear this. It's the fear is designed to make you run and hide. We're in our hearts. We're light workers, love workers, energy workers, and we gotta shine. This is our time to shine. This is, take that 4 minutes of the sun being blocked out, and then bring that light into you and shine. Be who you are. When we're all in this together, and we need to bring each other, stand up for each other, right? If we don't stand up for each other, we could possibly potentially lose the whole thing. I don't think it's going to go that way, but it depends on, does humanity stand up for what's right, or are they still playing in this in a distortion?
So, and then isn't there something else going on with your Uranus and something else that's a big deal?
Yeah, on the 20th, Jupiter and Uranus are going to, now see, this is where this good stuff comes in, right? As long as we've been, releasing and doing our thing and calling in what we love and value, Jupiter will bring it to us. Jupiter and Uranus are going to bring in the blessings of those who have been working on their heart and going forward. If you've been out there, promoting hate and division and things, that Jupiter and Uranus might be a little bit of a challenge for you, but that's what they're designed to do. Any aspect is designed to break up the hate, the division, the blocks, the whatever you want to call that stuff that prevents us from, man being kind to man, or, a lot of these corporations are now people. Okay, that one right there. I mean, I can start swearing. Okay,
so you're gonna let corporations vote?
I know, right? So that's got to be reversed, because corporations are not people. They're getting huge tax breaks, especially since 2016. The person that was in charge for those years cut all their, I paid more in taxes 2016 than the person that was president of the United States.
Well, when 1% of the country makes more money than the whole rest of the country, that's something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping things are getting better. So this Uranus, so what did you say? That's going to be a better time. That's the 20th, and that's kind of,
it's a blessing.
That hasn't happened for a while.
No, that happens every. I want to say 20 years. If Diann is here, she'll show me. Is it 20 or 80 years, Diana? But anyway, it's rare, and it does. Jupiter expands things, right? And you got to think they're in Taurus. They're in had to physically manifest on this earth. Okay, so if you're focusing on what you love and value, what you want to manifest, of course, is something that's going to help your life go smoothly, right? Bring you
Mhm.
some money, the things that you prefer. Well, so Uranus is shocks and surprises, but that's where this comes in. I think those that are working in from their hearts, it's going to be surprises. Those not working from their heart, it's going to be shocks, and it's just going to come out of the blue. It's going to come. Wow, I didn't see that coming. And it's. Oh man, I forgot to play the Powerball. I'm sitting here.
Oh,
The
is this a good
Powerball.
time to play the lottery?
It was $1 billion today. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was just
I
like,
wouldn't
oh,
know what to do with $1 billion. I don't even want. I don't even think I'd want that much money. I'd probably give most of that away.
geez.
A
That's
billion.
what I would do. I'd give it to light workers. I was asking Spirit that the last couple days, how come the light workers don't have billions of dollars so we can get some things done?
We spread it around and help people.
That's right.
Have enough to pay our bills and do decent. But I'd give it up. Hey, Jay
Yeah.
Roberts, Pisces, Greeter. Hey, everybody, fight with light. Sorry if I didn't say hi to you. Thank you for being here. So this Chiron that you were talking about, that's the eclipse, the Chiron.
Chiron is right there. Yeah. So you got to
Chiron
think.
sounds scary because they said that is the eclipse that who was born under.
Well, we've all have Chiron, right? Let me say this: we're all signs. We have all of this. We're all of this,
Oh,
right?
we do. Okay.
Just because you're a Scorpio, you also have all these other signs in your chart, right? So Chiron is the wounded healer. Okay, so once you go through your Chiron wound, which is about age 50, you go and you healed from it. You helped yourself heal. You helped yourself grow. It doesn't really mean that you healed, but did you grow? You know, that's the healer, heal thyself. You become the healer. Okay, so those who haven't or don't understand that, or the person you're talking about, right? This is more of collective. This is the
Yeah. But
okay.
I
So
just thought when I heard that, I heard Chiron, it just made me think Chiron just sounded like a scary thing. I don't know anything about
well,
astrology. So.
he's a centaur. Okay, so he's half man, half horse, and
Oh,
he
that's
was
what it is.
yeah, and he was the healer in the mythology, right? So with Chiron there, this eclipse, right, is eclipsing out a huge collective wound. But I don't know which one. There's so many, right? So you look at it and you go in, okay, well, it's in Aries. Okay, so it's individually, but as a collective, this is also I am. Who are we? Who are we? Are we going to stand up for each other, or are we going to
Keep fighting each other.
yeah, go back and fighting each other or stand in the corner? So it's kind of asking us who we are and how, and that's the North Node. So once we make that decision where that North Node is, that's our way forward. That's where we go, and we actually do free each other. We free ourselves. We free humanity uh, 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 up a notch. As everything's a spiral, so we're going up, up. We're not making it to the top in a minute, but we're going to go up a notch, and we're going to heal as we go. And
Okay.
that's the way forward, and that is going to be playing out the next couple of years. Well, the North Node's going to move away from there, so it really matters these next couple of months what Chiron and that North Node discuss, because that's what I see when the planets are going around. I see they're all talking to each other. That's all they do. Update each other on the newest information. It's really cool. But then we also have Saturn and Mars are conjunct in Pisces. That means they're together, right? So they're going to be together. Now, that Saturn is our structure, our responsibility. How do we want to structure your life going forward, your daily life. Well, Mars is the one who goes and does it. Okay, so Saturn says, "Well, I want to structure my life. I don't want to work like I don't like this job anymore. I feel like a slave, whatever." Right? Mars says, "Okay, let's go find another job." Okay, so they're going to work together. Now, this is in Pisces though. So this is way they're kind of in uh Pisces rules the illusion, delusion, but it also rules psychic abilities, intuitive abilities. It helps you see things that maybe you couldn't see because it's so vast. There's so many options, right? So I just think that is really what that means. There's a lot of options. We have a lot more to choose from than we've ever been told. We've always been limited by, oh, you can only do this if you go to school here and you do like this, and that's just not the way forward anymore. It is based on, what do you love to do, what do you want to do, and is it, what is that value important to you? Because as soon as you say those things, this is yes, 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 that's when the spirit opens the doors, and there you are going, oh my God, how did this happen? I do it all the time. It's like, I'm just kind of in awe all the time. It's um it's pretty cool, but I used to not think like this. I was very had mm, did not think good at all, and very negative, and very depressed, right? Thought I had to do what I had to do, and I was stuck and couldn't do anything else. But as soon as I changed my mind, it changed. It's a matter of what you focus on. Again.
So I'm going to see if my blonde head can understand this right. So, 'cause, I'm like I said, astrology is like, but okay. So
You
the
do it.
eclipse is everything and the Mercury retrograde is a time for us to not hide under the covers, which I was planning on doing, but it's a time to kind of look over all of the things that we maybe need to relook at our lives, maybe look at things in our life that we have done that we wish maybe we hadn't have done, or we could do better. Like, if I have a job, I hate my job, what am I going to do about it? I don't like where I live, what am I going to do about it? So maybe it's time to think about those things, perhaps. And
Absolutely. And you can do that under the covers. You can nurture yourself and say, okay, how am I, what is it that, here's a good thing to say, because this is Aries season. The sun is in Aries, right? This is for us. I am. Who am I? Kind of go along with that statement. I am, and really fill in the blanks. We're in this time of year. What if you could be anything you want? There's no limits. There's no money issues. There's nothing. What would you do? And really focus in on that. And if it's something, or you could take a step towards it, do it. I would do it. Definitely.
okay.
This is the time to do it. But you can take that step just by making a decision while you're laying under the covers.
So it is a good time. It's a good time to reflect. And then what are you going to manifest in the 20th coming forward? How are you going to change it? Maybe.
Yeah, because the 19th, right, the sun goes into Taurus. So all those dreams, all those ideas, all those ambitions, the inspiration comes in, and Taurus goes, let's make it happen. Let's make it real. Okay, so this is why you want to give yourself a really, give yourself as much of your dream as you can in your wish, and let Taurus, when Taurus comes in, you'll be ready. Those doors will start opening as soon as you decide this is what you want, and go for it.
Well, I'm glad you came and was talking to us about this stuff, because I'm sitting here, I'm hearing lunar eclipse, solar eclipse. There's a rocket going up. They're calling the devil something. Then they're talking about we're going to have the military, and then they're saying, "Oh, everybody, make sure you have enough food for 2-3 days." I'm like, what the heck is going to happen? So I did not book a show. I did not book nothing. I'm like, I'm staying in my pajamas. I might still stay in my pajamas. And I might
Isn't
still
it?
not, I may still take that day off, but it
Yeah.
was, you know, yeah, it was kind of scared me a little bit, you know. When then they
And
talk
that,
about Chiron, Chiron just sounded like a scary name, and they said Trump was born under it. I'm like, oh God, you know. So I didn't know what all this means, but they made it
well, let's say
sound
this.
scary.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say this. Okay. We know Trump was born with Chiron close. I think he was born under a lunar eclipse. It might have been a right. Faith over fear. Thank you.
You're
That
right.
was
You're
it.
right. Fight with light. You know, we all have those times, though. You gotta admit.
But okay, now he's a person who hasn't worked on his heart. He isn't soul centered. He isn't heart centered. So when Chiron comes around, wherever it is in his chart, it's going to be very jolting to him. Okay, so we're going to see him like go through a lot of changes this year because he's just not, and it doesn't seem like it, right? It seems like he gets away with a lot of things,
Not
and
gonna.
he's not. It's not going to be for long. It's not.
No, no. I keep like I was telling you back in the backstage there. It's I see in June things completely starting to change.
Me too.
Mickey says, embrace the fear and turn it into love energy.
Perfect. That is perfect, Mickey. Oh my gosh. That's how we have to look at it. We got to face that fear, stare right at it, and say, "No, I want to enjoy my life. I want to be with my kids. I want whatever that is for you, right? You decide. I am fill in that blank.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like when I was telling you how, like, when I'll use my oils and I'll use them to manifest. Like, I manifest money. I am
Mm-hmm.
prosperous. I am protected. I do that. I do the
All
I
the
am
time.
affirmations with them, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
I do too.
And so yeah, so I guess it's kind of like that. Just that faith, that belief, that vision, that, you
Yes.
know, uh, proclaim it. It's done, when you say
Yep.
it. So
It,
I'm gonna do that. I will come out of the covers now. My dog will be happy. She'll want me to play with her. So
you can still be in the covers. It's just, like, let it ride, really let things marinate, till about the 20th, 25th. And well, after the full moon, right? The full moon's in Scorpio on the 23rd, I think it is, 23rd. And yeah, that's going to clear a lot. I'm telling you, by 1st of May, but call it in, right? Put in your order. It's like putting your order in at a restaurant. Put your order in with spirit. This is what I would love my life to be like. This is really what make my heart smile. And you can actually feel your heart smile when you talk about the things that you would love to experience and how you'd like to live life. My heart smiles all the time. It's so cool. And I know you all do too. You wouldn't be sitting here in Deann's channel if you weren't heart centered and soul centered. Yeah. Oh,
treat
Leah,
yourself
that's
like your bestie. Yes, Leah, I've said that. We sit there and boy, we'd kick somebody's butt if they talked about our bestie and said mean things about them. But yet we'll say
cool.
mean things about ourselves all the time. And
Yeah,
you're right. We need to treat ourselves like we would want somebody to treat our best friend or our mother or
absolutely.
our family.
And that's what spirit wants for us. Spirit wants us to love, and that's why I started my channel. It wasn't even about astrology. I was guided by spirit to talk about self-love and acceptance. And that is what and that and I do. I put it into everything, even with the astrology, because that's where once you have that unconditional love for yourself, you will give yourself, you will at least sit out here tonight and write I am, and write your dream out, write your wish out, only the heart can wish. Think about, and you can feel it. You can feel when something makes you so happy inside. Give yourself that. That's something all of humanity really needs to give themselves, that
And I
opportunity.
think you can make yourself. I remember, sometimes it's like you go to work and I don't want to get up. I don't want to go.
Right.
You sit there and you make yourself, even when you have customers, you make yourself smile, you make yourself happy,
Yeah.
and pretty soon you are happy. Pretty
Yeah.
soon it's a real smile. It's not a, pretend smile. It's for real, So
Mhm.
I agree. And yes, the most benevolent outcomes. Oh, what is that? Don't eat gassy foods. Fight with Light says on the eclipse if you're going to be under the covers. Just gonna die. Well, don't
Well,
worry, I wasn't gonna make no beans. I swore I'd never eat those again. When I was a kid, my mom used to make beans and cornbread because there was 5 of us kids, and it was a cheap thing to make.
uh,
And I used to have to sit at that table for hours in front of those beans, and I'd try to put everything on them. And I swore when I grew up, I'm never having them again. So you don't got to worry there. I won't be making those. Dale, though, I can promise you. He'll just make him sleep in the other room. He does.
yeah, right.
Sweet and spicy.
Your dogs don't care. The dog doesn't care. They're like,
Oh,
what?
my dog loves. Did you see that picture I posted? She was sleeping on my head. It was on my head.
I
That
did
dog
it.
is the silliest dog. Well,
Uh,
speaking of dogs, before we go, does this going to affect animals in any way? I had
yes,
a subscriber
yes,
ask me, and I didn't know what to say.
yes, yeah. In fact, it gets really quiet right before, right, and you got to remember the sun, the life of everything, is blocked out, fully blocked out for 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it gets really quiet. The animals go a little, I know in the lunar eclipse, my cats were just for 2 or 3 days just going very uncomfortable. I kept trying to calm them down and play with them and things, but that's normal, right? Because most animals in the wild will go kind of hibernate, go hide, go somewhere, stay out of the, because I mean it gets very dark in the middle of the day.
So it
I mean,
confuses them.
yeah, and it gets a little colder, you know. So you got to think, right? This is coming in. It's taking something out. If you could give anything to this eclipse to take out, what would it be? I know I would like division, hate, so that's what I'm going to be thinking of when this is going on. Of course, don't look at it. There's the special glasses and use those, or you can look down on the ground and you can see it, the shadows. You can see it. It's pretty cool. But take that energy, right, and use it for something powerful for yourself. I'm sick of eating donuts. I don't care what it is. I'm giving it to the eclipse. Right? I just play with things like that, and just see what it does. Because I'm not gonna sit here and live in fear and be afraid of because others are saying to be afraid and they're trying to hype it up as a fearful event. And I don't know if y'all believe in dragons, but the dragons are here. They've been really coming in since 2012. That comet is bringing in more dragons, and dragons are about wisdom and elevating humanity. It's not, yeah,
That's
it's
good to
not.
know. I just got a dragon necklace today.
See, look at that. But
Mhm.
see, they call it the devil one because they know that the devil will strike fear in a lot of people. So as soon as that, when I first heard that I heard in my head immediately, no, it's the dragon. And then I heard recently the mother of all dragons. So again, the feminine, the females coming in as the change maker. What I just heard. And
Okay.
that's what we are, right? We're the change makers. But we don't have to be mean or hateful. We do it out of love. I want my rights. I want everyone to have their rights. You
Nikki
know.
says dragon energy came into my reading last night.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Said yes, take out the bad actions of the way some are treating others. Yes, we need to treat each other with kindness and acceptance
Yeah.
and my hope is eventually that we'll all come back together. Families will start reuniting.
Yeah.
Things are going to get better, and I do believe in 2025 that's going to start to
Yep.
happen.
Me
You
too. And what Sonia said here, yeah, take this time to really think about what you prefer to have in your life, what you prefer not to have in your life and the world. And as you're saying stuff, release it out there, because that South Node in Libra right now, we just had that lunar eclipse. Let it go. Let it go. Those are distorted relationships in South Node in Libra. But what's the most important relationship? Is the one you have with yourself. Is that distorted? If it is, remove what is holding you back from treating yourself well, and choose your heart, choose yourself. There's so much going on, and we are so much more powerful than anybody's ever led us to believe. We're just finding this stuff out in recent years, and as we go further, it's just going to keep coming in. If we say something is so, it's so. I mean, we have spirit teams. Spirits right here with us in all moments.
Yeah, I think you're right. Instead of sitting here thinking about how bad things are and all the negative, think
Right.
about how you want to make it and put energy towards that.
Right.
Prayer. And that's what, to me, that's what prayer
Yep.
is. You may call it intentions. I call it prayer. Some people say
Mhm.
intentions, but it's putting that energy out there for the good, the things that you want. When you pray for somebody who's sick, you're putting those intentions of wellness into that
Yeah.
person. So maybe we
Absolutely.
just all concentrate together during this eclipse
Mhm.
on making this planet and this country better and the way we want it to be, and visualize how we want it to be, and just
Absolutely.
believe it to be so, and be grateful as if it is,
Is it is, right? And be the light, right? Because that the sun gets blocked out, but you are the light. All of us have light in us. So shine bright, you start right now, and shine all the way through the eclipse. Don't let anyone dim your light with fear. I mean, that's probably the best thing I could
That made
say.
me think of my little song when I was a little girl about this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. Remember that? Hide it under a bush. Oh no, I'm going to let it shine. So yeah, everybody just shine your light. And there's more of us that are good people, that are loving people, that are kind
Mhm.
people than there are. And even the ones that they're not all bad. They're just misinformed, or just,
Mhm.
but we can change things. I think we will. I really think 2025 things are going to get better. I think we've been through a lot of stuff, and
Yes.
they say we chose to come down here at this
Yeah.
moment in time. I want to speak to the manager. I want to
I'm
know,
with
what
you.
was I thinking? Why?
I
But
know.
there's a
I can't.
reason.
Yeah, I say that often too, because it's okay. So yes, we're here to be the light, to hold things up, and I like what Fight with Light said. Just real big letters. Fight
Fight
with
for the
light.
light. Yes,
That's
I
right.
like that. And so, all right, well, I might come out of the covers. I might stay in the covers. I like my covers. I really do. I might just be nice to have a day just to relax and stay in
Yeah.
there and pray and give my good intentions to the world.
Hmm.
But I gotta thank you. Hey, Valerie, how do people get a hold of you if they want to have
Oh, let,
a reading, an
let me.
astrology reading with you, or
Yeah.
anything like that?
Please email me. I'm gonna put that email address in here right now.
Yes,
It's
please do, because
love.
if I type, I'll knock over everything on the desk. So
It's
Mimi
love you.
Rose, everybody I didn't get to say hi to, just believe me, I see you and I appreciate you. I just have this itty bitty desk and these big long arms and cards all over that I'm going to make a big mess if I try to type. But I love you all and I appreciate you.
I
Oh,
got
you
it.
got
Itty
it on
bitty
there?
test. Yeah, I got it. It's loveu11@gmail.com. And
Oh,
just
you.
email me and I'll get your appointment and read your chart. This is a good time to get a chart reading, because we're going through the eclipse season. We're going, how do you want to navigate forward? What is it you want to manifest? What is it you want to create? Who are you that going forward? If you have any of those kind of questions, please email me.
Okay.
I
And
really do.
you do shows. Do you do shows at any certain time, or you just kind of,
Yeah. Well, I've been on a lot of people's channels. Thank you for having me again. And
oh, I enjoyed it.
Diane, Diana and I usually do the new moon and full moon every month, but we decided today that we're going to go on every Monday night to help remind people to be the light as
Okay.
this month goes through. It's
Well, and
important.
I should probably say I always hate it. You know, sometimes when people change their channel names, I'm like, I have my memory is so terrible. I just remembered that one. Now they changed it again. And what did I decide to do? I was talking with PD, and you know, guys know my thing is Deann Shield Maiden Tarot, but
Uh-huh.
I actually do other things. You know, the oracle, the pendulum. I use the pendulum a lot, and I thought, I don't know if I should just put tarot. So I decided just put Deann Shield Maiden Psychic. And then for my email address, it is so hard because that means, you know, because I do more than one thing. But for my email address, I always have it Deann's Shield Maiden Tarot at gmail.com. It's like this long and
Yeah.
it's confusing because I have two S's and the other name I don't. So I shortened it for everybody to make it easier because
Oh,
nobody
good.
can spell my name. Nobody can spell my name. I mean, my sister-in-law still spells my name and she's known me since I was 12. And
Oh
so,
my goodness.
yes. So I get called Dina, Diana, and everything but. So I just put Shield Maiden Tarot. I thought that for the email. Shield
Now
Maiden
that's
Tarot.
for the email, Shield Maiden Tarot.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm keeping the other one, so if anybody emails me at it, I'll still get your email. I'm not going to erase it. Okay,
And
so if you use the old one and you're used to it, use it. But for the
yeah,
new people, I'll just put Shield Maiden, Shield Maiden Psychic at gmail.com. I
oh,
figured that
psych.
nobody has to worry about spelling my name or worried about, was there a two S's or was there one S? So I
But
did it because I wanted to make it easier for people by putting Shield Maiden Psychic for the email.
see,
So
that's amazing, DM, because that's exactly we're in Aries season, right? I am. You're creating your new I am. You're creating your business, man. The oils. That's so cool.
well, yeah, and then my I wanted to tell everybody too, if they wanted to look, we got new oils in, we got two new ones, we got some new candles, we got some cool stuff in, and we're going to keep getting more. But if you ever wonder, people are like, well, how do I? What's your link to your store? It's real easy to remember. It is My Manifest Shop. That's all you got to remember. My Manifest Shop, and then put a .com at the end when you go to Google. So if you can just remember My Manifest Shop and go to Google, you can put .com, you know, I don't even think you have to. It'll take you right to the store. And I'll tell you just real quick, I made a video because I had a lot of people saying, well, what is in the oils and why'd you use this crystal and what is the difference between this one and this one? So I just made a video of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different types of oils that I have right now in the shop. And I told you like the strawberry friendship and why I use strawberry quartz, what's in here, what's it for, what's it do, what type of things are in it. And then for the dream oil, sweet dreams, why did I use pre-night? What is in it? Why is it for bedtime? How is it going to help you? The Aries oil, I kind of explained so you knew why I used red jasper, why you don't have to be an Aries to bring in the fire energy of motivation, concentration, optimism. But I did a whole explanation, told you what's in it. The two new oils we've got are this is St. Michael, only with a little bit plus. It's got some extra oils in there, power oils with the St. Michael to protect you and also give you courage and confidence. And
Nice.
so, and I tell you all about what's in here. And the last new one I have is this is called Angel Wings, and it has the clear crystal quartz because those are kind of the master healer, and this is more of a comforting, helps you connect to your guardian angels, and helps you when you pray, when you meditate. It's this more spiritual, more calming. If you're feeling anxious, this is a kind of comforting one, and I tell you all about it. And I did put in there so you can see our new little lilac candles, beeswax
Oh,
candles. It smells just like real lilacs. It's my favorite smell in the whole wide world. You should have seen me and my mom. We would go to Bath and Body Works every spring. It's like, well, do you have lilac stuff? Do you have lilac? How can you not have lilac stuff? It's spring. To me,
right.
spring is lilacs, and they go away so quick.
Yeah.
I'm happy we have this, but I don't want to burn it because it smells so good. I keep smelling it. So this is the best smelling lilac candle I have ever smelled, and it's all
Oh,
natural, slow, clean burning, and all natural. And then I got the little matches in there, and see they're all different colors, and I showed you how they're long. So that, and then the top of it has a little thing where you can light it right here. So you got your, and some people who do candle work and stuff, they like to light things with the matches, and they like them to be longer so they don't burn your fingers right away.
yes,
So, or, you know, I like them to be longer so they don't burn my fingers. So
yes.
if I thought it wasn't on there, I told PD, I said, I don't think we have the candles on there. She goes, keep scrolling, Deann. So when you scroll past our picture, you know, the picture of me and PD that talks, you keep scrolling, you'll see the candles and the prices of them. And also I explained to you better what is a customol and all that. So go there and you can check that out and find out. So I did try to spit that out real fast. So you all have a nice night. I appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for coming. Okay, thank you, Valerie, and I'll speak to you for 1 second after the show if you wait for me for a minute. Okay. All right.
Love
Bye,
you
everybody.
guys.